Coyote Vs Acme just came out and you need to see it. I went to go see it. This movie is full of witty humor, cartoon jokes, and of course it's got a good story that truly does harmonize with its development process. Considering the development of Coyote vs Acme was an absolute mess, with Warner Bros. Entertainment making it a tax loss for $30 million in 2023, it's truly come quite a far league. When Warner Bros. Did that, lots of other movie studios were allowed to shop around, I guess, which is buy the movie and then say, oh hey, it's ours. And what happened was Apple, Amazon, Netflix, they all looked at this movie. Some of them made bids and they were like, no. Ketchup Entertainment ended up buying it for $50 million, which was $50 million less than Warner Bros. Asking price. People were like, why is this movie not getting released? There was a whole following. I'm sure you've seen it. I mean, hashtag release Coyote vs Acme, hashtag save Coyote vs Acme, because the people began to stand up for this movie and be like, we need to see it happening. And I think the true reason why Warner Bros. Decided to not make this movie, it's going to be easy to say it's because it's anti-big business. Coyote vs Acme follows the story of a man named Wile E. Coyote as he navigates the legal system. Let's dive right in. I'm not aware if you're aware of the context of Wile E. Coyote in the Roadrunner. It goes back so long, a very long time. Wile E. Coyote in the Roadrunner, it's an infamous battle almost of Wile E. Coyote trying to catch the Roadrunner, and he never manages to be able to do it. And that kind of sets the precipice for this movie, because Wile E. Coyote is trying to catch the Roadrunner once again, and his strategy is to take these little metal pellets and have the Roadrunner eat them, so he covers them in kibble. And so the Roadrunner comes by to eat the kibble, because how else do you draw in the Roadrunner? When the Roadrunner eats all of the pebbles and runs away again, Wile E. Coyote busts out these rocket boots and he turns them on in order to catch up to the Roadrunner. And it's actually, I think this is in the trailer, he uses this metal gravity glove and he reaches it out and he's like, "Whoa!" So the metal glove turns on and it attracts the metal that the Roadrunner ate to him. So he's starting to succeed. It's coming closer. Oh my goodness, we're gonna start the movie with Wile E. Coyote catching the Roadrunner. But that's not what happens. The Wile E. Coyote is now blasting up into the air because of his rocket boots, and he has this metal piece attached to his hand, and it kind of looks like a UFO. And there's this fighter jet, and he's flying in, and he's like, "What is this? I don't know. I'm just gonna shoot it down." He doesn't even ask any questions. He just immediately resorts to shooting a missile at it, which Wile E. Coyote is now attached to. It's an insane scene, but basically he gets the glove off and falls down to the earth, and he implants, because in cartoons they implant into the ground. And the Roadrunner pulls up and he's like, beep beep, and the missile from before just comes down and blows up. So Wile E. Coyote's like, man, I've failed. I can't catch the Roadrunner. He goes back to his cave and starts making a new plan. And he's got so many plans. He's got filing cabinets and filing cabinets of plans that have all failed, every single one of them. This ad comes on for this lawyer firm, and it's are you injured? Because we can help you. So Wile E. Coyote goes and journeys to go see him. The lawyer is okay, here's the rocket boots, we'll settle. I don't want to get into a big court case. You'll probably make $300 off this when Acme settles with us. Wile E. Coyote is not about that, okay? He makes them go outside and he opens up his knapsack of things, and it's literally just all of these different Acme products that he's used. The lawyer is like, we're not doing this right now. No, we're just going to do the rocket boots, get the $300 settlement, and call it a day. Because the dude's low-key a coward in the beginning. But his niece, who's an intern, is like, yeah, but look how many $300 settlements are sitting right here in the parking lot. But Wiley takes all of it, and he shoves it all into the evidence box, which then gets filed and processed into a whole lawsuit, which gets sent to Acme, who then is forced to react because they don't have another option, because Wile E. Coyote is now suing them. I mean, I had a couple of my favorite moments in the movie. For example, Bugs Bunny's place in this movie is quite interesting. He's more of a informal caller. He's like, what's up, doc? I got information. And his information is basically that you need to go to 666 Spooky Street and go look for a jack and talk to Daffy. So they go to 666 Spooky Street, and it's literally a jack in the wall, and they have to use it in order to lift the wall up from the bottom. So they go in to this like serene area where Daffy Duck is painting, and what he's painting is Sisyphus pushing a boulder up a hill, but in like blue watercolor. And he looks at them when they walk in. Daffy looks at the main characters and he's like, "Are you here to be the nude pants model?" Keeps like trying to get the main character to take his pants off, and he's like, "No, that's not why we're here." The niece who's tagging along, like the intern, she's like, "No, Daffy, we're here because we want to know about Acme." And that immediately makes him go cuckoo, because at the beginning of the movie, they had this gum that Daffy was experimenting, and it got all over his skin, and it made it so he had to like rip it off. It started really small, and it just got him completely covered, and he had to rip all of his like feathers off. It was horrible. So he goes insane, and he's like, Acme, no. But you can stop them if you get the thing that I have, and it's this bucket of paint. And the bucket of paint is important later for other things. Bugs sends them there to get this manhunt started, and then he's like, well, come see me at this Carrot Festival, and the theme for the Carrot Festival is actually the Looney Tunes theme, which is just something that I'd like to, throw out there. But he's like, no, look, I know things, but you need to find somebody who's not me, who can actually like speak on the things so that it's clear that they happened. Bugs Bunny isn't attached enough, so they have to go find this doctor who had disappeared, and they have to get him to be able to testify or whatever. The most character driven moment, I guess, of the movie, one of the best moments that I thought was in the movie, at least. They like lose the first trial, I guess. It gets dismissed because this very serious judge says so, and he uses a freaking toy gavel, so really serious of him. But anyway, they lose, and Kevin Avery, who's the main character, he runs out the door of the courtroom, and he's like, I have a comment to the press. And he's like, we all saw the injustice that just occurred inside of that courtroom, and we're not done fighting, even though the whole case had been dismissed. And so that went viral. And because of that little moment, that even though they'd failed, the Supreme Court ended up deciding to hear their plea. And because of that, I don't know, it was just a big turning point for Kevin's character, because in the beginning he was a coward who didn't want to actually make a lawsuit and fight the big person, because he's like, we're gonna lose, there's no way we're gonna win. So it was a moment when he finally decided that he was gonna commit to this in the movie. It's when he finally commits to choosing to go against Acme and help out the Coyote. Overall, I would say it's a really good movie, and I think that you should watch it because the messaging is great. It's Sisyphus adjacent, I guess. They use Sisyphus as a metaphor the whole time because it's pushing a boulder up a hill when it feels like it can be completely impossible. And even though it might seem impossible, little things matter. In the movie, Wile E. Coyote starts with one little thing, and it's the rockets not going good. He chooses to stand up for that, and he puts everything he has into it. And they fail the first time, they continue to try and fail, and eventually they build other people, and other people see that you can also stand up together, and it creates somewhat of a butterfly effect, because it starts with one person standing up and ends with everybody being together to stand against one front. Especially when in this movie it's made very directly clear who the bad guy is. John Cena, who's Buddy Crane, who's the opposing lawyer, puts up a front that's we're the best. You're gonna lose because we said so. We're doing it all legally, but it doesn't matter if you're doing it legally because the people don't like it. And so what's more important at the end of the day is the true question of this movie: winning legally and in the court of law, or winning in the court of the people, because that is what matters. And I think that if you should take anything away, it's that you should look out for the people, because even when you might not know it, they still need you as much as you need them, because otherwise the powers that will be unchecked are going to be flagrant about it. The movie does have a lot of aspects from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. They actually have noted that they used it as influence to create Coyote Vs Acme. You can see the clear division, because in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, there's a little bit of division between the cartoons and the humans, and that's the main driver for the conflict in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. In agreement between how humans should be treated and how cartoons should be treated. So in this movie, it takes that a little bit further and takes it into the context of like what is right. What it boils down to for Coyote vs Acme is that Wile E. Coyote has suffered because of the damages that Acme has caused to him, and they don't see that as a problem because he's a cartoon. And occasionally, cartoon humor and them getting hurt is funny, but it's at whose cost though? And so they're not seeing them as equals. I mean, obviously they're not people, but they're still conscious beings because they're cartoons. They're designed to be that way innately in nature. They're supposed to reflect our own like creativity and understanding and being in situations that we can be in. That's how we use cartoons to like display those situations. So it's just interesting to see how we put, or I guess not we, it's interesting to see how they put the movie into having that division of, yeah, people and cartoons should be equal because we're just people who can like deal with suffering, and we don't want to like be putting suffering on other people. The movie was absolutely banger. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. IMDb currently has it at a 7.6 star rating. Honestly, all around, I hope that it continues to do really good. I will probably continue to tell people to go see this movie purely because it is that Sisyphus story. And if we stand for animation like this, because they weren't going to do it, we can get more of it. And the animation style and the creativity was peak. Anyway, I know this video is low-key rushed and being put together, and it's not very magical, but I just wanted to really talk about this movie because I almost cried like 3 times while watching it. And if that's going to happen to me while watching a movie, then I'm going to talk about it a little bit. This is the Neon Blue Slime YouTube channel. Subscribe, comment your favorite Looney Tunes character. Mine is Bugs Bunny. I mean, what's up, Doc? It's nothing but peak comedy right there. Yeah, I'll see you again in the next video. And don't be afraid to stand up to something that seems a little bit bigger than you. Some conflict that might start small could become big, and it could always help you. And like always, have a great day.